That's one kind of Dharma strength that is available if you have the vows and the compassion to protect the Dharma. But I mentioned we're going to tell a story about a young man. You saw Gotong's picture. Let's see if we've got him. Gotong is this young man. And the situation is he was 12 years old, going to be 13. And this young man was just at that age. You know, boys around 12 and 13, 血气方刚, you know, he had decided early on that he wanted to be a monk. And a few months previously, in the city of 10,000 Buddhas, he had taken on the shaved head and the robe of a trainee, but he was still a very young man. And so Shifu asked him if he would wanted to follow the delegation to Asia, and Gotong said, "Sure I do, Shifu." Well, he came to Malaysia, and he had already taken the Eightfold Precepts, right? When he got to Malaysia, the young ladies around him started to look very pretty to Gotong, and he got a little confused. And you know, at that age, things start to look different than they were before that age. So Shifu had said to Gotong, he said, "You know, Gotong, you are here representing the Triple Jewel, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. You're here representing city of 10,000 Buddhas and my teaching. You cannot be 随便." He said, "You cannot be careless. You can't play around. You have to decide, Gotong. If you decide you want to cultivate and walk this path, I'll give you a chance. If you decide you do not want to do it, then you need to stop pretending to represent the three jewels." Do you understand, Gotong? Gotong was like, "Yeah, Shifu, but sometimes I get confused," he said. You know, so very compassionately, Shifu said, "Yes, of course, we understand that, but you have to decide. Once you take the precepts, you can't play around, Gotong," he said. Gotong said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Promise?" "Oh, okay, I promise, Shifu. I'm not going to talk to pretty girls anymore wearing my precept sash," right? So it's like, okay. Now, we were in Malacca at Qingyunting. Everybody knows about Qingyunting. Let's see here. Here we go. I promised I wasn't going to do this anymore. Here we go. Qingyunting. There it is. So, an ancient temple. Let's see, is there a better one? Maybe this is. Yeah, here is Qingyunting. Jinxing Fa Shi. Shifu was at Qingyunting. So, because Heng Chao, Marty, had gotten very sick and almost died, so he stayed back when the delegation went out to speak Dharma. I stayed back with him. Gotong had gone and talked to another girl and actually had made a date with her. He wanted to see her again, and he asked where would she be. So Shifu said, "Gotong, trouble." He said, "You stay here. We may have to send you back to America. I can't have you 随便 like this." Gotong said, "Okay." So Shifu told me to stay with the two of them and recite the Da Bei Zhou with them. Wait till Shifu returns with the delegation from the evening talk, and then we'll see, he said. 好了，那我们三个人在青云亭的2楼，出家众那个地方， so 我们都念大悲咒， Namo Hula Dano Dolai, Namo Uriya Pura Jeri. So we're reciting along. Gotong starts to nod off. Namo Hula Dan. Okay, so we're reciting about half an hour. Suddenly, Gotong opens his eyes, and he looks so scared. He looks terrified. He's almost crying. He's shouting. And we're like, what's going on with this kid? What's wrong? And we noticed that the air was cold. It felt chilly in the room suddenly. This is Malaka, right? Malaka, hot. Suddenly it's cold. And Gotong is reciting. About 10 minutes later, he falls asleep again. He's fallen asleep. He's reciting. About 10 minutes after that, his eyes open up again, and he's shouting the Dabejo, terrified, trembling. And this time, Heng Chao says, Gotong, what's wrong? Gotong says, did you see him? See who? Did you see them? See who? What are you talking about? He came right through the wall, says Gotong. No, we didn't see anybody. So Gotong says, keep reciting, keep reciting. We recite. Oh, Shifu comes back. Here's the delegation back from the talk. The Shifu comes in, says, Gotong, he says, we are going to have a meeting about you tomorrow morning. You go to sleep. Okay, Shifu. So Gotong goes to sleep. Next morning, everybody sits in a circle. Shifu says, tell the story. Gotong says, last night I was reciting the Dabejo with Heng Shi and Heng Chao, and I guess I fell asleep. But this guy, two guys, came right through the wall. They were really tall. They were wearing black, and they had really tall black hats on. And they wanted to take me away, he said. Shifu said, Gotong, do you know who that was? I think so. Who was it? Was that the ghost of impermanence, Shifu? Shifu says, yes, it was. It was your turn to go. He said, because you can recite the Dabejo, you have a little bit of advantage, he said. But don't you understand? I told you, you cannot play around after you leave home. These precepts are not a game, he said. We're going to have to send you back, Gotong, he said. And you can go and be an ordinary young man, he said. Are you willing? Gotong said, yes, he said. 无常鬼来了，一个高高穿黑色的，戴一个高高的黑色的帽子的一个人走进来，穿过墙壁，要把他拿走。因为他随便，师父警告他以后，他要跟女孩子，他穿着那个袈裟，就跟女孩子就 make a date， right？ 所以Gotong就回去王府城，慢慢的就结婚，现在住在中国，很好，一个居士，一个护法居士。不过当时他真的看到无常鬼所以这个故事 it's also in answer to the question, it's also a kind of Dharma protection to how do you say, to follow the rules. So when you see cause and effect so clearly, and the world of the spirit comes alive in front of you, that room was really cold. Marty and I didn't see anything, but the room felt really cold. 我们两个什么都没看见，不过那个房子里边就冷冷了，一会儿，所以 follow the rules.
你们皈依了和受戒了之后，你都要护持三宝，恭敬三宝，时时供养三宝，护持三宝，恭敬三宝，供养三宝。你不要专门欺负出家人一天到晚呢对出家人呢也不恭敬，也不护持也不尊重，这么样子你皈依之后那将来是堕地狱的 这个是丝毫都不会错的。所以你必须要护持道场，护持出家人恭敬出家人。你要是轻看出家人那就是有罪了。可是这个出家人他也要循规蹈矩，守这个戒律。如果他身上穿着出家人衣服而不守这个佛所说的戒律，那你大可以不承认他是出家人。那么并且明无而公之因为杨幂之道不喜，孔子之道不助。你这个无论哪一行里头有这个鱼目混珠的人呢，那么在里头这都是不好的。因为有不守戒律的出家人，他就影响了一般的白衣都不相信佛教了。所以你身为一个佛的弟子，应该主持正义，拿起那个金刚宝杵把这些个破戒的人都要整顿一下。你不要说这个出家人他有什么事情我不敢说，这个出家人他要不守戒律，他不是出家人。所以你们各位这一点要清楚你叫他在佛教里头教门里头鱼目混珠，在这儿穿出家人的衣服，吃些出家人的饭，完了往这个佛教锅里还屙大便，这是我们不能承认这样人是出家人。已经9点半多钟了，9点35分钟。那么今天这个法会就到此停止。祝各位身体健康，精神愉快。那么今天所听的法你们择善而从，不善而改，是道在进，非道在退我再和你们各位画一个大圆，你们把你们的烦恼脾气都舍给我那么我好多打你们几次再祝各位晚安。
When the day that it got really serious, Shifu went out with the others and he left Reverend Heng Shi to take care of Marty, and he left Gotong to be there too. So Gotong was in the room with the two of them, and Gotong could see some things. So he suddenly got cold and he saw the ghost of impermanence come and scared him to death. So he began madly reciting the Great Compassion Mantra, and the ghost subsided. And the other